So now let's talk about Sophie Cunningham. At the end of the game, JC Sheldon is going for a fast break layup and Sophie Cunningham is running with her. And I remember in my head, like, it happened in a split second and I said, oh, let's see. Let's see what happens here.
It all began on May 30th, a date now seared into the memory of Indiana Fever fans. The game against the Connecticut Sun started like any other, but it quickly turned into something far more violent. JC Sheldon, playing like she had no breaks, left Sophie Cunningham and Sydney Colson both injured from contact-heavy collisions that looked anything but accidental. The refs? Silent. No ejections, no warnings. Just two hurt players and a boiling sense of injustice. You see, it wasn't just a game. It was a message. The Fever weren't just beaten physically, they were ignored by the officials who were supposed to protect them. And if you think that went unnoticed, you'd be dead wrong. That day didn't just cause bruises, it planted a seed. And that seed was about to grow into full-blown payback.
They weren't non-contact. They weren't ACLs, they weren't Achilles, they were contact injuries caused by the same player. And this kind of physicality that the WNBA they brag about. They say it's always been a physical league. That's just the heart of the It's not good basketball. And we've seen so many injuries. Paige Becker's out with a concussion. Rakia Jackson was out with a concussion. All of these injuries are contact plays. We've seen Caitlin Clark last year get chucked to the ground. We saw Angel Reese get clothesline chucked to the ground. The players continue to do it because the refs are allowing them. Why wouldn't you keep doing it if you're a physical player?
That's not all. Because when the calendar flipped to June 17th, you could feel the storm brewing. This was no ordinary rematch. This was about pride, protection, and payback. Caitlin Clark was back from injury, and her body language said it all. No smiles, just focus. She didn't just show up to play. She came to remind people what happens when you hurt her teammates. From warm-ups to tip-off, every glance, every dribble was fueled by what happened on May 30th. The Connecticut Sun may have forgotten, but the Fever, they remembered everything. Clark wasn't just going to score. She was going to lead a war. And believe me, the battle hadn't even begun. You wouldn't believe what happened next. As if out of a movie script, JC Sheldon once again inserts herself into chaos, this time jabbing Caitlin Clark directly in the eye during a steal attempt. Clark stumbles back, clutching her face in clear pain. The arena gasped. Everyone saw it, except the referees. And just when you think it can't get more absurd, Clark, injured and furious, pushes Sheldon back, only to be hit with a technical foul herself. The message? If you get poked in the eye and defend yourself, you're the problem. Fans were livid. Social media erupted. The WNBA had a spectacle on its hands, and it was just the third quarter.
It was, to me, payback for what was happening the entire game. But she did it in a way that she wasn't going to injure JC. She was just making it known, like, if the refs aren't going to handle it, I will handle it. We'll take care of it, but this is not what you're going to do when you come into our house. It was an intentional foul. It was a hard foul. She brought her down. But with that, you guys, JC Sheldon got up and she was ready to go. So as you guys can see in this video, a whole scuffle breaks out. Sophie and JC are going after it. Both teams are running over, trying to break it up. It kind of goes into the fan section a little bit.
But wait, things were just heating up. That eye poke was merely the spark. Because right after, Marina Mabrey, like a heat-seeking missile, zeroes in on Clark and body checks her to the floor. And I'm not talking about a simple bump. I mean a full-on hockey-style shove that sent Clark tumbling backward. The Fever bench exploded in disbelief. The fans were screaming. You'd expect an ejection, right? Think again. After nearly 15 minutes of review, the referees assessed only technical fouls to both Clark and Mabrey. Equal punishment for the victim and the aggressor. If you're thinking, how is that fair? You're not alone.
JC Sheldon, and I tweeted about it. She was playing so reckless. I'm fine with players playing aggressive, but there is a thin line between playing aggressive and playing reckless. When you dive for a ball, you don't land on somebody's leg. She landed on top of Sydney Colson's leg, and her leg got stuck and literally twisted around. Both injuries, both Sydney Colson and Sophie Cunningham, were contact injuries. The announcers here are saying, of course, Marina Mabrey is going to get ejected because that was unwarranted. She literally came out of nowhere and chucked Caitlin Clark. There should be a flagrant one, of course, on JC Sheldon because she swiped her and hit her in the eyeball. Whether it is intentional or not, you can still have a flagrant a flagrant foul called on you, whether you are trying to intentionally hurt somebody or not. But this is what they called, you guys. This is what they called. Caitlin Clark, Marina Mabrey, Tina Charles were assessed with technical fouls on Tuesday. Caitlin, Marina, and Tina Charles. Technical fouls. That's it. Technical fouls. That's it. And JC Sheldon was assessed with a flagrant one foul, and no players were ejected.
The final minutes ticked down, but Sophie wasn't thinking about the score. She was thinking about revenge. With the Fever up 87-70, JC Sheldon made one final fast break attempt, but Sophie was done being the victim. She lined Sheldon up and delivered the most intentional, calculated, flagrant foul you'll ever see. Not reckless, but purposeful. She wrapped her up, took her down, and stared down the consequences. Ejected? Sure, but the message was crystal clear. If the refs won't protect us, we'll protect ourselves.
Team doesn't like it. Marina, trying to have her teammates back, pushes her down. You see a little bit of drama all the way around. Tina Charles, Clark, and Mabrey, they received technical fouls. Sheldon received a flagrant one foul.
The Indiana Fever fans were chanting, "Sophie, Sophie." Sophie's jersey is going to sell out tonight. She's going to be in the All-Star game tonight just from this one play because she was standing on business. It wasn't a dirty play. It was an intentional foul, and it was meant to send a message. It turned into a scuffle, and I don't think anybody...
You wouldn't believe how fast it escalated. After Sophie's foul, players flooded the court, benches cleared, and the scuffle spilled so close to the fan section you could hear the gasps. Sheldon and Lindsay Allen were also tossed, joining Sophie in the walk-off. The chaos was no longer contained. It was unleashed. Coach Stephanie White was beside herself, screaming at the refs who somehow still didn't grasp the seriousness of what had happened. This wasn't just a heated moment. It was the boiling point of an entire season of pent-up frustration. The Fever had been pushed too far, and now they were pushing back. And in the eye of that storm, Caitlin Clark. Banged up, eye still stinging, but dialed in like never before. She dropped 20 points and 6 assists, conducting the game like a maestro. She didn't retaliate with words. She retaliated with buckets. Through all the madness, she kept her composure, proving why she's more than just a rookie sensation. She's a leader. That game wasn't just a win-in-the-box score. It was a declaration. Clark doesn't fold under pressure. She rises. And after everything she'd endured, it made her performance all the more legendary. That's not all, because this was more than just a Caitlin Clark story. Natasha Howard added her 50th career double-double with 16 points and 12 rebounds. Kelsey Mitchell poured in 17 of her own. The Fever weren't just fighting, they were clicking. This wasn't one hero carrying the load. It was a team effort, and that team made a statement together. If you target one of us, you target all of us. The scoreboard said 88-71, but this win counted for so much more than just numbers. It was about unity, resilience, and standing up when it matters most. And you wouldn't believe the message it sent. Loyalty isn't just a buzzword for the Indiana Fever, it's a code. When the refs wouldn't step in, Sophie did. When Clark was in pain, her teammates had her back. And when push came to shove, literally, they pushed back. The Fever showed that in a league where things can get ugly, loyalty is still powerful. It's the invisible thread tying this team together. It's why they didn't just win, they earned respect. And maybe, just maybe, this game rewrote the narrative for how you treat star players like Clark. And finally, this wasn't just a revenge game, it was a launch pad. The win catapulted the Indiana Fever into their first ever Commissioner's Cup final, set for July 1st against the Minnesota Lynx. But beyond the trophy, something even more important happened. The league saw what happens when you try to bully Indiana. They fight back. Fever fans chanted, "Sophie, Sophie," as if to crown a new queen of heart and hustle. Her jersey, probably flying off shelves. This team isn't just good, they're dangerous because they play for each other. So if you ride for this team, drop a CC and Spicy Sophie in the comments, hit that like button, subscribe to Chic and Hoop 2, and turn on those notifications.